Police Minister Becky Cele is in Phoenix today. Racial tensions are brewing in the area. It's been reported that 15 people have died after being shot by armed residents. Let's take you there live. That's where we find our reporter, Aviwe. Aviwe, thank you so much for making time. The police minister visiting Phoenix this afternoon. There have been lots of concerns around racial tensions in the area. How has he responded to what's happened over the last couple of days?
Well, Clement, it was after the second round of questions where he did admit to the racial tensions. In fact, the undertones, even coming from some of the police officers, mentioning one particular police officer saying that as she entered her residential area, she was stopped there, basically racially profiled as to does she really stay here, while other people of other races, females, were let through. So after the second round of questions, only the minister spoke of the racial tensions. But the minister was in high spirits today after spending hours inside the Phoenix police station, where he says today the tensions are much better. In fact, last night, Minister Becky Cele had no vision, couldn't see what was happening, saying the situation is much calmer today. In fact, they'll be visiting a number of areas tomorrow, together with the defense minister and senior army generals, as that SANDF deployment kicked off in KwaZulu-Natal yesterday. Remember that Phoenix has 20 confirmed deaths in the province, and in fact there are still more bodies that are missing, so those numbers could go up. But in the province alone, around 67 people have been killed in the riots essentially that we've seen, which seem to be orchestrated to some sort of effort to destabilize government essentially.
So what's the plan? He indicated that tomorrow they will be visiting some of the area around Phoenix. What does that program entail?
So it's a clean-up campaign now. There are three areas that have been targeted. It is the Fambai area, Zwelicha, as well as Phoenix, where we are. In fact, the minister was surrounded by community members, which are in agreement that they'll be going with the minister, visiting those areas in the aftermath of what we've actually seen happen over the last number of days. It is quite a sad sight. Myself, I've been in the province for the last hour or so. I might say it's quite eyesore. You'd basically drive for around 100 meters, Clement, and you'd see a car that has been burnt in the street, dead middle in the street. The roads are riddled with rubble. They are in every corner, every street. There are those people that are patrolling there with sticks in hand, essentially where those tones of racial tensions are coming from. People being searched, people being looked at if they indeed live in those certain areas. But the ministers did speak about that visit. I just want to take a listen to what Minister Becky Cele had to say on that.
I refuse to completely take the situation here as a racial situation and pardon criminality. Because if it were a racial situation, we would not have seen, yes, indeed, many people coming from Zwelicha died. There are few people died this, but they've been very much comrades in stealing. There are people that have raided these shops from Phoenix. There are people that raided shops from these other communities, Zwelicha, Pambai. So they've been comrades there in stealing. Why? For me, the domination here would be criminality. And yes, indeed, the racial connotation has been there. We are not helped by social media on these things. Yes, there is problem here, but from our side, leadership, we will not really concur very much. If there is that element of racism, it will be secondary to criminality. We are running criminality in this community. And the cases that are being investigated here are 14, and confirmed dead people, 20 bodies, but some people are missing. Those bodies might go up.
Sure, 20 bodies confirmed, Aviwe. That's crazy. That's a crazy number just in one area. How has the presence of the law enforcement officers been? Have they increased their presence in that area to ensure that those tensions don't flare up again?
Well, that's one of the criticism, Clement, that was directed towards Minister Bheki Cele in terms of the delay of the response. In fact, pointed questions about them failing the country in dealing with this. And he conceded that the South African Police Service did, in fact, take a bit longer, but in fact, mentioning that there are efforts on the ground. I mean, spoke of some 1,400 arrests in KwaZulu-Natal alone, so which shows that there have been efforts. If there weren't efforts from the South African Police Service, those arrests wouldn't have amounted to nothing. So he did say that there are a SANDF deployment in the province starting from last night, KwaZulu-Natal. In fact, mentioning that South African Police Service aren't trained to deal with situations of war zones, which suggests that this is a completely different situation to the normal operations of South African Police Service. But he did mention that, in fact, going forward, there is an operation warning South Africans that they're going house to house in an operation called Vezi Sleep, which suggests that people will be asked to produce the till slips of the products in their homes, suggesting that the police will be going with the other law enforcement officials from each and every home, looking into exactly the contents of the home, and if there are new appliances, one will be required to produce a till slip of the defect. In fact, those operations, we understand, are already underway in Gauteng at the moment.